Hi everyone, welcome back. Mark Devo here. Welcome to A Conscious Time, where we discuss everything around awareness, navigating through this world through the eyes of awareness, a bird's eye view, as it were. Try and bridge pragmatism with spirituality, so real world. Well, is this the real world? Well, we won't go down that road just yet. Real world versus higher level. So let's just jump into it. I made a couple of notes here as I do, just to keep me on track. Images of bondage. So, just to unpack about for those that are new to this channel. When I say awareness, it's we discuss things that you can't necessarily prove, but you certainly can't disprove it. At the end of the day, you've got to you've come here for a reason. What resonates with you and your experience, you cannot take away, you cannot deny. You could probably verify and quantify or scientifically prove various things that I say, but you'll spend maybe a lifetime of this. And science is a small little peephole in this journey through this dimension where we currently find ourselves. And you've got to, as I've mentioned before, you've got to look at life, navigate through life through spiritual science, as Rudolf Steiner will say. So let's just jump into it. Images of bondage. So this is quite a provoking headline, and the reason for that is I wanted to capture people and go and think, what does he mean? What does it mean by images of bondage? So this was actually sparked by watching my kid playing, using his imagination versus watching the iPad, and I thought, what is the actual difference between these two? What's the word I'm looking for? Ways of thinking or being using his mind. And the first part is, and this is quite a deep concept, is nothing is everything is known within you first. So if he watches content on a YouTube channel, something has to be known within him to know what he is seeing, if that makes sense. So it might seem quite abstract, might resonate with a lot of you out there. The point is then versus him, my son, watching content now versus using his imagination. So now he's using a creative force. So to me, the answer to that is the division is one is being subject to and one is being creative. So imagination is undoubtedly then creative, and then watching content and images is now undoubtedly being subject to. Some of the content and images are positive, some of them are negative, but this is where the main point of also this video is about, is to become discerning and waking up to becoming aware of what we are consuming, what are we being subject to, especially during these times that we find ourselves. So if you look at mainstream media, and it's ever more important to become aware. If you look at social media, AI, I don't know if it's legit AI, but the programs of AI that are actually coming out is quite scary. You've got the deep fake media, you've got mainstream media, you've got TikTok, you've got Twitter, you've got all of these images and content that are just getting spewed out. And you could say, are there real life zombies? Well, you could actually say they're real life zombies, because a lot of us are sitting and glued to our screen and TVs and just getting absolutely zombified by these content and images, and we're getting primed by these things through movies, through all this content, and then we're either creating this on a very conscious collective side of things, or we're now being subject to or primed so that it's okay to now being subjected to these things. So I can't really go too in depth here because it'll take quite a long time, but if you look at the war efforts in Ukraine, you look at the pandemic, and you look at everything that's happening, I mean, a lot of these things have been primed way ahead of time. You're either getting controlled, you're either getting sold to, and this again goes to the difference between being creative or subject to. A lot of the subject to, a lot of the time, some of it's positive, some of it's negative. Again, this goes to being discerning, but a lot of the time, it's either fear-based, it's you being sold to, or you being controlled. on the opposite side, and you have to have an answer to that. And for me, and for those who are watching, and for those that are new, does this resonate with you when I say it has to be Spirit-led and God Spirit-led? I could go deep, a level deeper, and say, the way for true human evolution is through Christ Jesus. But let's just stick with it. You either are being subject to, or you're being Spirit-led. So what are you doing? How much time are you spending on these content and images, and what is getting perpetrated out there on mainstream media, etc., etc.? Are you firstly saying no to a lot of that stuff, or are you balancing it out with spending time in quiet, in peace, in asking or praying, meditating, getting Spirit-led, and seeing what comes through from that? Because that is a different medium. If you have to go very deep, I mean, we are in multiple dimensions. Who's to say that you sit in quiet and stillness? What downloads comes through is not the way we should also be living life, as opposed to just being subject to, like zombies, just getting consumed by this content out there. So I know I've jumped around a little bit. Hopefully that is making a little bit of sense. I do want to keep it short and sweet. Before I do wrap this up, I want to just say one last thing. We are all being guided. Humanity is being guided in one form or another. On a super high level, you could say we are being guided spiritually. I'm not going to go down that pathway right now. And then maybe on a more real pragmatic way, you can see how humanity is being guided through, let's use the 1%, the powers that be, that are apparently controlling through the monetary system. We didn't create the monetary system. This monetary system was created. Of course, you can go back in time and see and understand how this was created. But the point is, we are not pulling the strings on the monetary system. We are subject to the monetary system, and that is controlled by the top 1%. And we are just fulfilling the roles that we are being perpetrated to. So as you can see, that's at one level that humanity is being guided. There's multiple other facets that we can unpack that how humanity is being guided. But now it begs the question, that's at one level. What's the next level? What is the level above the 1% that is guiding us? Anyway, so I don't want to go off track now. The point is to keep it as real world and navigating through the eyes of awareness in this current time to go, what is resonating? What is telling you? Does this feel right? Do you need to break away from more of this collective thinking of being subject to the mainstream media and the social media? Or again, are you spending time in quiet and peace and stillness, asking the Spirit of God to guide you, and experience it and see what happens? Don't take my word from it. Go out there and experience and see what happens. So I hope this makes a little bit of sense. Jumped around a little bit, but I think you get the gist of it. I hope it adds great value, and we'll see you on the next one.